And we are recording, folks. I know it's been a while. It's my fault. I'll take that. Completely my fault. All good. Things changed. New schedules, new things to look after, new people in your life. It's just so much going on. And we're back though, and that's all that matters. And we're here to continue to bring you manga coverage. And like we discussed last time we were here, which has been about 2 weeks ago,
Mm.
we said we're going to be chopping it up and jumping around, and we have officially settled in on the newest manga we are going to be discussing. I am Baron J67.
And I am Walter, but that's it. Just Walter. Today I'm just Walter.
Walter. Well, go ahead and let the folks know what we're reading.
We're reading literally something that is only in manga form, no anime, nothing. It's very new, only about maybe like 16 chapters or something. It's called Aliens Area by Fusainaba.
Fusai Naba. I love that name. Now, guys. You no. Well, give these good folks the premise of what we're dealing with here.
Planet Earth. That's the premise.
Yeah.
The premise is
Yeah.
planet Earth, and essentially, we're dealing with aliens. Essentially, aliens are a common thing within this universe. They exist. That's confirmed. We know that they exist. However, there seems to be a law that was formed around said existence of aliens, like intergalactic federations and whatnot. Very sci-fi heavy. The premise is we got our protagonist Tatsumi, I think it is.
Yeah, Tatsumi.
And regular shonen protagonist, he's an underdog, he's an outcast kind of. He can't focus on many things. He only has his job and his siblings to take care of. I think his family, there's a little shrine, so he doesn't have a family right now, just his little brother and sister, no parents, so he's doing the brunt of the work.
Yeah.
He's going to school. He's in high school, so a high schooler, of course. A high schooler that looks like he's in college.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He has the atypical, like, I'm a goon, but not really a goon. Like, I just look like I commit crimes, but I promise I don't.
I look intimidating.
Yeah.
You probably won't talk to me, but when you talk to me, I'm the most introverted man ever.
Yep.
And, he's struggling. He's trying to make ends meet, trying to take care of his kids.
As a third year.
Siblings. Oh, yeah. Has a third, so he's racking up activities and work. But the premise is that he has something going on with his right arm.
Yep.
And what's going on with that right arm essentially leads to the events that lead him towards finding out about this bigger world or universe, with aliens and what Earth means and what Earth is in the grand scheme of things, because Earth has a role in all of this.
And I love how the manga opens up with like a pretty dope drawing of Earth, like looking at Earth from outer space. Kind of just gives you a long form breakdown of what Walt just explained. But it looks so cool, and it kind of sets the premise like Earth is a main character here. Like Earth's not talking or anything like that, at least not now. Or as far as I've read. But
not Unicron from Transformers,
right? Like, oh, it's Gaia come to life. I actually read a book or listened to an audiobook where that's like this premise where
like
Gaia is woken up, and then but okay. So but what we're looking at here is honestly cut and dry, like the easiest way to explain this to anybody. If I had to sell it to somebody in the elevator pitch, this is manga Men in Black.
Yes, I'm glad you said it, because I was gonna lead it. I was gonna lead you to it if you didn't like catch on it.
Yeah.
But how could you not? It's so.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're cultured in pop culture, you will notice that this is essentially Men in Black.
Yeah.
This is Men in Black.
It's 100% Men in Black.
100. but anime, very anime.
There, yes, and that's the cool thing, right? It's not just anime in the form that it's animated. Like they already had a Men in Black animated cartoon, which was dope and has one of the dopest intros ever. And if you've never seen it, go watch it. But what makes this really I say anime, a manga, is the fact that it has all the tropes and feels, art style, combat. Like you're not
Power
gonna
scaling.
Yeah, it has all the typical shonen stuff you would see, but it is on top of the base of this is Men in Black. 100%. If you understand Men in Black, you can, and you enjoy Men in Black, you can definitely get into this. I would, like, based on the 3 chapters that I've read so far, I would even say, like, if manga isn't your thing, but you enjoyed Men in Black, this would be something worth reading.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, where this dips heavier into the manga world, our protagonist has powers. I like how this intro felt a little more rushed than the previous 2 things previous 2 mangas we were reading.
Compared to something like a kaiju or Chainsaw
Man. Kaiju number 8 or Chainsaw Man. This definitely felt not in a bad way. I won't say it was bad, but it felt like it hit full speed pretty quick.
Yeah.
What did you think about
ground running for sure?
Yeah, what did you think of the pacing?
I think the pacing. So it's interesting because it's fast, but it's getting its point across.
Yes.
So like, because with kaiju, for comparison's sake, with kaiju, I'd say kaiju gives you the point or gives you the main premise, like the last 2 pages.
True.
This one is like halfway through the chapter is already like telling you, hey, this is what's going on. It's not wasting any time, but it doesn't feel rushed. It feels natural, because they don't waste your time. So it's not like, because with kaiju and with Chainsaw Man, there's a lot of setup, but it's because I think Chainsaw Man is more complicated, so it does need to take its time.
Yeah. And
kaiju, I think, has it's just different. It's so different. The way that we've discussed how kaiju, just with the protagonist being 32, and the things it tackles and the choices.
It's a lot more layers that maybe the readers won't.
Yeah.
Be able to bond with. Like, I feel like most readers, I don't know the demographic of the majority of people who read Shonen Jump, but
it's supposed to be young boys. So
this is
young, like teenage boys or young adult dudes. But I mean, Shonen is like the biggest thing in the West with like everyone.
Yeah.
Most notably, grown ass dudes.
Yeah.
Like it's like and DBZs and Naruto's and Bleach, and
because we grew up on it.
Yeah. And it's the kind of thing where you bonded with that, and I think that for kaiju, and to bring it back to Alien's area, kaiju, I think what it's trying to do is put you in Kafka's like perspective, like trying to view the world like through Kafka's eyes. While Alien's area, I don't feel in Tatsumi's shoes. I feel like this is just, this is a wacky story, because it's wacky. It's a bit wacky.
It's very much so.
It doesn't take itself incredibly serious.
I could totally see it being a more funnier like manga. But what I also think one part, and this may be me digging a little too deep, is because the core of it is something that's already pretty famous. Just like when you think, okay, for example, when you see sports anime or manga, they don't go too deep into the lore of the game or the history of the game or the sport they're playing, because it's rooted in something that's pretty well known. And it's safe to assume, like, the basics of basketball, so I'm not going to spend 3 chapters explaining what the rules of basketball are. So with this, Men in Black being such a big, global success, and the idea of aliens and the idea of like shadow organizations protecting humanity from alien threats is already in the, using my big words, what is it, zeitgeist? But it's already
common knowledge,
like it's understood or people know of.
Yeah, and it's not the common people, so it's not like civilians know, because the Men in Black, they have, like in Men in Black, they have the little thing that, the little flag.
Yeah, they erase
the memories. So it's not that the people know; it's that humanity knows about it.
Yeah,
there's a department that dedicates themselves to dealing with these matters, the foreign affairs, whatever, and then they're under like some public department, federal government branch.
I like how I like that the character who introduces what's his name, Hajime,
the detective.
Yeah, the detective.
Let's call him detective. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, so I believe it's Hajime, but the detective that brings Tatsu into the fold and lets him like fully know what's going on. I like that he seems art style wise younger. His demeanor, his personality, and even his design seems younger than Tatsu, because normally,
and not human.
He looks like a non-blinker.
Yeah. And his hair gives me the I don't know if you've seen Parasite, but there's this one host that a parasite takes over where her hair becomes like blades, and it reminds me of that design of like a bladed hair.
I was gonna say it reminded me of the oh my god, Afro Samurai's conscience, like his hair, like that's what it reminded me, or the DJ from Jet Set Radio, like it but I like that whole like mad scientist leader teacher like senpai, like it just like I like
he's very it doesn't go overboard with the mad scientist vibe. It is Hajime Sharaku. I remember Sharaku, but I forgot it's Hajime. He's not pushy. He's very much hey, I'm gonna tell you these things. Oh, you're not in? Okay, it's you'll catch on, and he does catch on because he does get attacked. Which I think it's jumping ahead. I think it's my favorite panel, one of my favorite panels, when he's just looking at the dude in front of his apartment, and it like goes like wide from over the shoulder, and it's just this whole hallway and just this dude just creeping on him. It's a very, what would be the word for that? It's very heavy, like the way that those moments are drawn, like the serious moments. It's like you can almost feel the tension. I don't know how to explain it. Like you can feel this like Tatsumi like tense up.
Yeah, like he was extremely uncomfortable. And it was a trip to see, like, and maybe it could have been cultural differences being drawn out here and presented. Like, I know for me, there's no way in hell I would have opened my door with somebody that close that I did not know that close to my door, because the creeper dude was like up on his shoulders as he was trying to get into his apartment.
I do think in Japan, and this is, again, I haven't been to Japan, but from the podcast, from people that had lived there, Japanese people are not as confrontational, I think, and I'd assume he's just like, don't look, don't engage.
Yeah, like, let me sir, I'm just trying to get in my home. Like, but it's just funny how it played out, and like it was clearly shown. Like, this dude, like, he almost had to squeeze past him in order to get into his own home. And
what you doing?
It was, oh man, it was eerie. And then he just had that whole like inhuman look going, like you could, and you could just tell like something was off. It was dope. But then of course when he opened the door and he gets into his house, and we kind of are jumping. So just to give a premise, so what makes Tatsu's so special and so important to this story is his arm is doing a bunch of funky weird stuff. His arm
it got cut.
Yeah, like, and it healed right away.
Mm.
And he apparently attributes his arm doing weird stuff from surviving a fire. Yeah, he survived a fire.
The incident.
Yeah, the incident, the moment.
The moment. Like very Fire Force. Reminds me of Shinra.
Yes.
And he's like, I don't remember anything. Just
Yeah.
I remember this face, this laughter.
And then just the flames, and then I was just
alive.
The
flame. But in this case, it's very much just. Is he bandaged at this point? Has he bandaged himself?
No. At this point, no. He's
not yet.
He's just walking around with his arm out in the open, and it doesn't look weird or anything
going on.
But it does. Like, the doctors think he went to go get evaluated. They think it's psychological damage because of his stress.
But they didn't even try.
Yeah, they didn't even because what doctor is going to be like, oh, well, cut yourself. Let me see. And, right. Like, how do you test this?
I mean, it's like when you test allergies, you kind of...
You do torture yourself.
Yeah, like, what do you call... like, if you're trying to test out, like, I don't know, like paper, like, would you, like rub paper against the skin, or, like, maybe poke, and, like, hey, I'm going to poke you for...
They do a whole panel thing, and they put it, and then they, like, poke you, or rub, or... They do a whole panel thing, and if you want to look at weird stuff to make you itch, go look at pictures of allergy panels.
Yeah. And then it'll show this one's for this one's for that, but the doctor was like, nah, I don't... This is probably stress.
Yeah, it's stress-induced. You're okay. But what happens next?
His although his hand is going on, his whole thing is again because that's his motivation. He has two siblings, a younger brother, a younger sister. They're both very little. They're toddlers, basically.
Yeah.
And they're very happy. They're very content. They love him. There's a great relationship. He's always working hard. There's no like conflict between them.
True.
It's a happy family.
Yeah.
And he's just really stressed, and he doesn't want to pursue college. He just wants to work and
take care of his siblings.
Yeah, which is a very important thing after the things that happen. So he has his hand like that. That's the reason why the alien was in front of his house, because he's looking for him because of the hand thing. Man goes in, Tatsumi goes in, and when he goes in, there's another alien.
Oh yeah.
And this alien, intimidation. He pokes the wall, and the wall just shatters.
Yeah,
it just breaks apart.
It wasn't a forceful flick or anything. He legit just to show him, like, hey, let me open up the conversation with showing you how badass I am.
Yeah, I ain't playing no games.
Yeah, no games.
I'll shatter your arm. I'll shatter you. And he explains that his arm basically got affected by waves. What was it?
Yeah. So. Okay, so the way he explains it, because he does a very quick explanation of what it is.
Bite-sized.
Yeah, like, I think, like, maybe a panel in, like, 4 lines. It's some type of galactic wave that...
Like radio wave?
Yeah, it's a wave they didn't fully explain from what I read. And then they also said that it was a chemical that was put into him, and they want to retrieve it. Like, it was that was the whole reason the aliens were there. They were like, there's no reason you should have this technology.
He basically was the classic, aliens abducted me and whatever, and people, but he literally doesn't remember. He only remembers a fire. Whenever they allude to his situation, he has a scar on his. Which ironically, I also have a scar here. He has a scar. That was aliens. This was a brick in 3rd grade that I fell on.
Oh Lord!
Yeah. So I assume that's where they open and they put something in him, and that's what gave him the arm. So the arm, what does the arm do? It heals itself. Fine. When we find out what the arm does, because in classic, timing.
Yeah.
When the alien is confronting him, Tatsumi is going, like, what do you want? You get out of here, whatever. and his sister and brother arrive from school, and shit just got real.
Yeah,
He cannot take any chances now,
and
but he can't do anything.
And
He's not fast.
And this is the big, like, oh my god, I'm a main character moment. Because he, like you said, he was trying to save because his siblings are literally about to get their skulls crushed. Like, because remember, folks, there's two aliens. There's the one who destroyed the wall, who was already inside the apartment, and then there was the one on the outside of the apartment who was being a creep waiting for him to come in.
Yeah, and then went in when he went in.
Yeah, which was super creepy. It was an eerie scene that everybody should check out. It was super eerie.
That man has the face of an ugly bastard from like anime.
Yeah, just like only thing that could have made it worse was like the heavy crossed eyes. That's often that does come up.
Like a smile.
Yeah, it's weird. But so what we see here is Tatsu trying to save his siblings, and through the stress of trying to save his siblings and watching them getting their skulls crushed, let me stop here. I thought they were gonna die.
Did you?
I thought they were gonna kill those kids. Maybe I'm just coming fresh off of Chainsaw Man, and that's what that is. And having no faith in like good things happening, but I legit thought, I was like, damn, because they did a good job. It wasn't like the bad guy had him by the collar and was threatening to kill him, or it was like a off scene, like he was looking at the other alien and they were talking in the background. What are they gonna do? No, you see this big ass hand grabbing like a ball these two kids' heads and like squeezing. Like, and I want to say blood is coming out of one of the kids' nose.
They were crying. So
yeah, it's a lot going on here. Like, I was like, oh, they're about to die. Like, full on.
The reason why I didn't think they would die is two things. One, the method. It would have been too brutal for shonen.
Yeah.
At least Chainsaw Man, when it kills a monster. It doesn't just obliterate humans.
Sure.
But also the age range.
You're right.
Unlike Tanjiro, which he did get even children, Mutsan got some of his younger siblings, but we didn't see that. Yeah, and they didn't even show the corpse. It was like on the.
You just see a leg, and you just assume. Yeah.
If this was Attack on Titan or whatever, then we'd see some shit. We'd see it.
Yeah.
But Tatsumi just he becomes Luffy, and
he did eat the devil fruit, huh?
He got because guys, literally, this author knows what they're doing. Luffy doesn't have this immediately. He always has the rubber, which that's something Tatsumi does. He punches the enemy that's far away from him by extending his arm. First thing, it looks like he doesn't throw it, or it just extends.
Yeah, just like yes. Yeah, it pulls a doll
scene. Luffy has to wind it because it's rubber. It goes back and forth. Second thing, it's black, so it activated, so it's hardened.
Yep.
Luffy acquires Haki, which gives him armament Haki. He becomes black and he becomes stronger. Yeah, go ahead and read 1,000 chapters.
Yeah, you'll get to that point.
But mind you, that's like even iconic whenever you see. Listen, there comes a point after 23 years that Oda said, just make it the promotional page, and this man is fully geared up and
yeah. What is he like? Fifth gear as the standard now? Yeah.
Which don't talk about that one. That one's not even animated yet.
Oh my bad.
Be careful, Baron.
Oh my bad. Look.
Oh no, they know. People know.
Oh okay. I was like, dude, I see the picture everywhere. Like, I see more of those pictures of Luffy than I do of his original form anymore.
Dude, people are hyped.
Yeah.
Tatsumi becomes Luffy.
Yes.
He does a snake punch. He does an extending, and dude gets blown away. He bounces on some cars.
Bounces through a neighborhood.
No, my man got hit. And the other, but which is interesting. Now this part I appreciate. So he punches the alien, the creepy one. And the other alien, in classic Frieza moment,
yes,
he calls him a foul monkey.
Yeah, you monkey.
You monkey. Classic Frieza moment.
Full on Frieza.
Which makes sense. You know, we relate monkeys to like, you know, like ancient times, non-developed, so they consider humans inferior.
Yep.
But then he cries. And he's hurt. He's like, "How dare you touch one of my kind?" And it's like, okay, it's not only maybe xenophobia, of course,
yeah,
or racism.
Yeah.
But my man is hurt. He cares for his bro. You know,
He's
it's
like,
not
how do you use our tech on one of our own?
on one of us? You know,
like what is this?
It's like War of the Planet of the Apes. You see these monkeys grab guns and shoot humans. It's like, how dare you use our own stuff?
We made that for us. But what threw me off and made me happy was that he didn't all of a sudden become a superhero and know how to save the day. Yeah, he totally gets
slapped.
Yeah, he gets beat down. It goes completely sideways from that point. He seriously got off a lucky hit, and it looked like everything was about to be over from this point. And then who jumps in and saves the day?
His little sibling. Because before Hajime shows up, my man is telling his kids, run, get some help. And what does his little brother Taro do? He goes and hugs him and starts crying.
Yeah.
My man, that hurt.
Yeah.
That hurt.
He was like, you idiot. Didn't he call them idiots? Like, you're supposed to run.
Yeah. He's like, y'all, I erased y'all too well. And Hajime shows up.
Yep.
You think Tatsumi's about to defend in, you know, classic shonen fashion and go crazy, and he was gonna die.
He was about to get murdered.
He was gonna get murked, and Hajime shows up and does some electricity shenanigans, and he has a cane.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah.
I thought it was an umbrella. I thought it was an umbrella at first, but it is from
many things.
Yeah, right. He uses it for everything, but it's a cane.
He electrocutes him, but then he gets off it, and then he dodges. And when he dodges, Hajime does another maneuver, and he grapples him to the ground. He's trained. We see that.
What was cool though is it was actually a good fight. I'm tripping. He caught him off guard, and he started using a bunch of different items.
Like 3 different things.
Yeah. The staff, he used like this rubber band thing that turned into a rope, like a rope. And
yeah, like Aizawa from My Hero.
Yes.
Him like.
Yes, he did go full Aizawa. That was actually a really good example. And then this is when we get the formal introduction to the Men in Black, or the security. What are they called? I had it written down.
Oh, it's something Foreign Affairs.
Yeah, something Foreign Affairs. I gotta find it. I wrote it. That's right. Here we go. The Section 5 of the Foreign Affairs Division of the Public Affairs Bureau.
There you go.
God, these organizations love their acronyms and names.
Always has to be the government.
Always, every time. But no, and it's funny because he was like, "Yeah, we deal with aliens. Like that's just what we do. That's our whole purpose. It's a government job." And
paid,
stable. Yeah. And literally after he captures these freaking aliens and kind of settles the situation, other agents start storming in, and these guys look like your atypical Men in Black. Like they have their suits, the glasses to kind of hide who they are, and then they all look the same. I don't know if you've seen that in the drawing. They all kind of looked exactly the same,
with glasses and white hair.
Yeah, and then the detective that we know, Hajime, he's like giving a recruitment speech as all of this is going on around him.
Like a normal day.
Yeah, like it's no big deal. And once again, he has like the no blinking eye thing where he always looks happy. I can't wait. I got a feeling it's going to happen. We're going to get a point where he's not happy looking, and
it's probably got a lot of trauma.
Yeah. I mean, heck, he has a giant freaking X. He has a Zorro scar across his forehead.
He's not human.
Ooh.
or he's an experiment or something, I don't know, or he was
Ooh.
marked for something. You know, I
We
mean,
don't,
he's
and we
waiting
don't
for
know,
some.
folks. All of this is speculation. We have no idea.
Yeah, no, we're not. I don't even think that the manga's that deep yet
No,
in its
it. Yeah,
latest chapter.
yeah. It's.
Uh,
I think it's only up to like 20 issues, if that. But back to this point. It looked. It was just so funny to see through all of these panels. It's Hajime the detective talking to Tatsu and his siblings, and he's like giving them a recruitment speech. But behind him, there's like neighbors are showing up because, of course, this is in Tatsu's apartment complex. And there's like holes blown in the wall and all this commotion. And I love the touch of reality. Now, maybe they did all this to further show that they're like the Men in Black. And when I say the Men in Black, I don't mean the show. I'm literally talking about like the entities that is known as the Men in Black, the dudes who go around and hide alien information, allegedly.
right.
That so just to kind of, I don't want to keep comparing it to the Men in Black, even though we already did that, and
But it is that.
it is that it's that
It's exactly that.
it really is, and it's gonna be hard. Like we're gonna have to do a whole episode where we can like say we can only say it 2 times. Like we'll just make a game out of it.
The Men in Black.
Yeah, the Men in Black, Men in Black, Men in Black. But it's just cool to see how you're getting a view of what they do while he's just sitting there talking to Tatsu. And of course Tatsu's not paying attention to any of that because he's stuck communicating with
Yeah.
Hajime.
Yeah. You know, I mean, you know, writing it, I assume he's, you know, oh, we're gonna show the neighbors and we're gonna show off the Men in Black and what they do and whatever. Because you look at manga or anime like Bleach, and like the first chapter, he's fighting what are they called?
The hollows.
A hollow outside this neighborhood and doing a lot of ruckus, and no one wakes up, no one goes out.
Yeah,
to
there's
see,
no explanation of anything. It just
yeah, it's just like it's happening, you know. It's so I think it's like because it serves the world. It makes sense. It makes sense that they're doing it like this, you know. With some anime just can get away with certain things and people just don't question it. But in this case, it makes sense. It humanizes the world. It makes it a lot more grounded.
It makes it alive. It doesn't feel like the world's only within this panel. Like it's clearly a lot going on.
And there's clearly going to be probably, I mean, at some point, people are going to find out about this. It's going to get out of hand. I like that they take their time to show the concern from these goons and the assistants, you know, the men that help Hajime, and how they're debating back and forth. Hey, we should wipe his memory. No, I don't think this is gonna work. Oh, why should we even, you know, we'll figure it out but Hajime, I like that we're establishing a mentor-pupil relationship between Hajime and Tatsumi.
Yes, 100%.
Always great. I'm always down for that.
Oh yeah, always. There's always got to be that. And it always creates for a cool dynamic because then you usually get that moment where all of a sudden the student saves the master type business, and then, you know, it's just great.
Succeeds him.
The hero's journey. I love it.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny. It never gets old. It does not get old for me. Like they just had a sale on Audible. Side note, and I bought like 20 books. But yeah, it's ridiculous. But yeah,
enrich your mind.
Yeah, theater of the mind. But no, what was so dope about this is it just takes off from there. Like from this point, it just really speed rolls and rapid fire. So now I don't even know if it's the next day.
Or the very day.
That same day. Hajime is like, look, either I can wipe your mind or you can join us. And Tatsu's kind of on the fence, and he was like, well, look, you don't understand what we do, and I get that. How about I just take you and show you what we do?
Yeah.
Even though
shadowing.
Even though you kind of just saw what they do, but
yeah.
All right, I'll show you 2 times. They go and catch an alien. And this is the first time you hear the phrase "alien area."
Aliens area, yeah.
And
So like
you don't even hear it from Hodge. Like you hear it from an alien, not even
you hear from the dude that he was fighting.
Yes,
that says that Earth is an aliens area, which that means that Earth is, I think, like free game. Like the universe just determines that Earth is like a safe zone for them to do whatever they want. And some aliens just categorize it as, oh, we can, do deals, kidnap.
Yeah, we can do what we want.
We do whatever. It's a playground. And they go to this alien that I think it's like a spider alien or whatever.
Yeah, it did give a spider vibe.
He has webs. He's entangling
these.
He
has the mandible.
Yeah, nasty. He looks like a classic vagabond. I like that the aliens. They're not traditional aliens.
Yes.
They look alien, but then they don't.
Yes.
I don't know. It's a nice mixture of alien and human. Like, what this alien is in his world. Like, he's a dealer. He's a drug dealer.
Like they have human features that clearly explain what they are and what they do.
Yeah, and everyone has so much swag. I think in this manga, everyone has this pose that's just like we.
Everybody has. It's like a almost a horror vibe in the way that everybody's elongated. Everybody's got like a Slender Man frame.
It's like Tim Burton.
Yeah, Tim Burton. almost to that. Like the way, like nobody is just a upright standing citizen.
Yeah,
like everybody's hunched over.
Choice.
Yeah, 100%
choice for sure. It's not like, oh, this is a world where people just are hunched over and more slender. It's just the way that. Which I appreciate. I really like the way that it feels. It feels cool. Like literally, it feels cool. And it feels like it'll set up a lot of it's a good choice to set up like cool power demonstrations. Like when he does the punching.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it just works. Kind of just works.
No, it really does. And it kicks it up a notch in my opinion. And then it also leaves room for it to jump to horror moments without feeling out of place. Like
with aliens.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it kind of leaves room for that, and it's dope to see. And we do love more stuff than just horror and gore. I know we've been, Kaiju number 8, Chainsaw Man, Aliens area. Believe me when we tell you, like we read and watch a wide variety of stuff. Like my Crunchyroll list is nothing but like romantic comedy stuff. So just know it's not like this is not all we do, even though we do enjoy it. Because like I'll go back and look at Berserk all the time. But beside the point.
I do think Aliens Area it has the potential to be a good horror manga.
Yeah.
But so far it's very it's mature. I feel like a teenage boy can read this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Contrary to Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
Or even Kaiju I can see as well. But Chainsaw Man shouldn't even be on Shonen Jump.
No. I'm shocked that it is. I would say that on a scale to like putting on a scale, if Chainsaw Man is some of the worst up there, like I feel like Chainsaw Man is the buffer between like your Berserks and your Junji Ito's. Like it, because in my opinion, Berserk and Junji Ito is worse than Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man is still cartoony in comparison. It has moments, but all in all, it's not the grotesque. So I would say this is Chainsaw Man. This is Demon Slayer.
Well, Demon Slayer.
I would put Demon Slayer here because even though Demon Slayer is heavy, I know later in the mangas because I've seen images and panels where it does get grosser, but up to what's on TV now, from what I understand, it's like
Chainsaw Man's worse.
Chainsaw Man's worse. Yeah. So
it's more gory.
I would say this so far, Aliens Area, based on the 3 chapters that I've looked at, I would say it's before Demon Slayer. So if Demon Slayer can be on Cartoon Network, no problem, or Toonami, or whatever it's on. I think it's on Toonami, right?
Yeah.
then I would say this is a tamer. Like this is tamer than Demon Slayer as of this point.
I mean, 100%. I mean, Demon Slayer's first chapter is a
Murder and
family murdered and
murdered.
blood.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, I think with Demon Slayer, how should I put it? It's the way that it sets up the gore and the horror. It's not scary.
Mm-hmm.
It's Demon Slayer is huge in Japan. It blew up. It became a cultural just phenomenon, and I think it's just the way that it's so easy to digest as well. Whereas Chainsaw Man, you look into it, there's a lot of existentialism.
Yeah,
there's a lot of nihilism.
It's a heavy read.
It's a heavy read for sure.
I'm gonna tell you, I've always said Demon Slayer is this generation's Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, like it like I'm not talking as if Dragon Ball doesn't exist anymore, but I'm saying in terms of popularity, being digested by a wide variety of people, making its way all over pop culture. I mean, you see people walking around with Tanjiro's earrings, like just randomly.
Yeah, and
like you see it randomly everywhere. And it's for those who know, you know what you're looking at. But it really has become, in my eyes, to the level of what Dragon Ball Z was for me as a kid.
I think at this point, Dragon Ball, similar to Fortnite, I think, because I don't treat Fortnite as a video game.
No, it's a social space.
It's a social space. It's an event space. It's an experience worldwide. Like it's cultural staple in terms of like pop culture and whatever. And I think Dragon Ball got to that point, you know, as of recent, you know, how anime got more mainstream in the last 10 years or so, 10, 15 years. You have people like Michael B. Jordan having their own, you know, clothing line with anime engraved into it and being sold for hundreds of dollars.
I mean, Vans just did they're doing a crossover with One Piece.
One Piece, it's like straw. Yeah. It looks really cool.
Yep.
You know,
so
it's mainstream now.
Yeah, it's definitely cooler. But
absolutely,
the point of me bringing any of that up was just to show the sidebar, but was just to show in terms of like horror, gore, and body horror. This is on the tamer end, but it is still there, and maybe we'll mix in.
It is
like
creepy.
Oh, I mean their posture alone. Like my favorite, you know, I know we're getting to that time. But which is funny because we definitely stretched out these 3 chapters almost to a full hour. Like we did that. But my favorite image that really stood out in these chapters was when he first meets his team, and you see them standing in front of what I thought was a monitor or a mural, but it ended up being a team member, or at least the way they portray it. And this further shows the design and how everybody's like Slender Man, lanky, leaning over. And even in the way they have the positioning of everyone, they almost make them all look the same height. Yeah, everybody looks like a goon, like kind of like what's up?
Welcome.
They almost look like when they introduce characters in like Yakuza movies and whatnot.
Oh,
like that's how they
Yakuza vibe.
Yeah, that's how they look. Everybody's got a suit on.
You think they're cool?
Yeah, but everybody's clearly different, but they're all dressed for the most part the same. And it's dope. Very, very dope. It was I look forward to the day that moments like this get animated because it's just
hell yeah.
It's just cool. But that was my favorite image. It was like I think chapter 3, like
it is chapter 3, yeah.
Page 8, and you just kind of just see him just gooning, standing off to the side like so. And but that was my favorite. So, moving forward, chapter 3. This is when we get to see how things kind of played out after. Because if you want to quickly explain what happened with how Tatsu ended up joining up with the team.
Yeah, absolutely. They take care of the Spider Boy. If you want to find out how, go ahead and read it. I recommend it.
It's dope.
Some things when discussing chapters, I'm gonna omit certain parts so that there's a bit more mystery to them, because I do think that some of these are worth reading.
100%.
It's action heavy, so you should check it out. My boy Tatsu gets his condo. He's working hard, and he gets introduced to the foreign affairs place. He agrees to the job, and when he goes to that mural, space where it looks like a mural, and all the 3 members are there, 4 members.
Mm-hmm.
So we get introduced to 3 of them.
Yes.
What we assume is the 4th member. It's because it's
a serious it.
It gets to the box like showcasing.
Yeah, like boom, 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 and it's like okay,
and you're like, oh, that's a team member. It is I found it disturbing looking, because it reminded me of this manga that it is not localized. I've read it. I've read some of it through translations. It's called, I think, Jinmon or Jinmen. It's about animals that get human faces and they become evil. It is the most disturbing thing, and it reminded me of that, but cooler, because those just look straight up horrible. He gets introduced to these 3 people. I don't know their names. There's a cool guy with glasses, classic glasses, smart guy, smug. There's your relatable bro, he has a little like band-aid here, so he probably fell, or he's a tough guy, or whatever. He's cool. And then you got the uptight, I don't think, I'm a bit jealous. I don't think you're it. I don't think you're cut out to be here. I need to test you out. This is the only lady in the team.
Yep.
She has a beanie.
Yeah. With a palm on it. Yeah.
Yeah, the palm on it. She has like shorts that are not shorts. It's like to the knee.
It's like business.
Baggy.
Yeah.
It's like business, which she looks cool. I like the vibe. It reminds me of The World Ends With You. That kind of vibe.
Okay.
Of outfit. She gives me, I forgot, it's from Kingdom Hearts. There's a character there that reminds me of her. She's like, hey, I need to test you out. Meet me up in the roof of the building or whatever. And they go up there, and she's all smug, like, hey, yeah, you think you got what it takes? And then if you can, block at least one time, then you're like cut out. You got your,
you pass.
Everyone's watching, except for glasses. There's a cool guy, and there's Hajime watching, and she's showing off. She goes into it, and there's the equipment that they use. They've established that it's alien technology.
Yep.
Okay, so Hajime has some. Everyone has some. Your protagonist has some. That's gonna be hard to describe, but she has something that warps her.
Yep.
So she goes for the fake out, and boom, shows up behind him, and goes for the hit. And he's like, "Whoa, wait, oh, I think I can."
Full on instant transmission. Like they even draw it as that, like that.
Yes. No, it is that. It is a warp. It is just instant. And they cut to Hajime. I taught him. He has his own equipment that he can use when the time is right. And the whole trusting in your pupil type deal. And then you go into Tatsumi's mind, and he's like, no, I have to show what I'm capable of. I need to focus and all this beautiful, paddling and whatever. And he activates what can you care to describe that, Baron? Because I don't know what the hell that was.
He fully realizes his powers, and it turns into a evil looking vine
like
arm attack. Yeah, it's like a mix between stone. Like, you know what? Actually, the easiest description, it reminds me of, is it Kirishima from My Hero? Mm-hmm. Imagine when Kirishima does his full, like, defense mode, his full, like, totem, like, I'm standing there, business thing, but on a arm stretched out like a vine with a bunch of other arms coming out of it. That's probably the easiest way to describe it. And I think it's dope that it's arms coming from like a plant and not just one arm, like full on Luffy.
So they keep branching.
Yes.
And one arm and two more arms from one arm and two more arms.
Yeah, it's full. Arm. It's really disgusting.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I did not. You could not pay me enough money to realize what the hell he was about to activate. I would have said some like super powerful punch or
Yeah.
dodge or something.
Or energy beam, anything. I would have thought anything, but this I would not have anticipated.
No, it reminded me of oh my god, I forgot his name. Mahito from Jujutsu. His
Okay.
whole arm thing.
Yeah.
Mixture of that with my god, I'm blanking out, but there's an anime or show where someone touches the ground and earth just starts flying, just like going in, just like earthbending type deal.
Yeah. No, I can imagine what you're talking about. It's so it's like it makes me itch a little bit seeing it.
It's weird.
It's weird. It's very weird. But I'm glad that it went to that extent to separate itself, so we're not sitting here constantly comparing them to Luffy. Because that would have been
for sure. This is Alien.
Yeah, this is very Alien. It's very it's very
It's outer space. This is uncommon. What I appreciate from so far Alien's area, the manga in these 3 chapters, is this is Alien. Like it's what you think an alien would look like, but it's not like stereotypical, big head, skinny body, big proby fingers. Although the fingers they do the finger thing and they're like very, whatever. But I appreciate so far the characters, I appreciate the style. I think I got enough of each like moment to not it didn't feel rushed, but it also didn't linger too much.
True.
Unlike Chainsaw Man, where it does rely on moments of silence, so it has a lot of moments that there's not necessarily dialogue, it's just characters existing and kind of being awkward. And Kaiju relies a lot more on comedy, so you have a lot more quips and a lot more banter back and forth. This one, it's just story. Everything's story. There's no gimmick. Trope, super trope,
And then what's cool for me is so far it doesn't it's painted it in a way to where, like you mentioned earlier, we're not jumping in necessarily directly into the head of the main character. We're kind of just flies on a wall watching things happen. And it's refreshing. It's refreshing, and because what we the 2 previous manga we were reading, they're heavier. Even though there's heavy stuff going on here, clearly like this kid's parents are dead. He's raising his 2 siblings, and he's found out that he's harboring like alien technology that was implanted in him against his will. So this is heavy stuff, but it the way it's told and the way it's presented feels lighter. It feels more action and not so much like it's a story driven situation, which is still a solid story there, but I think you guys can get what I'm saying here. But yeah, so that's it. That's where it ends with these 3 chapters. I'm looking forward to reading more. We somehow stretched this out to an hour. Don't ask us how we did it. It was probably all the sideboard conversations, but it was hopefully along a coherent line. But I'm Baron J67. I write for Level 1, and you can get all your content from lv1gaming.com. Then you can find me everywhere, Baron J67.
And you can find me everywhere, mostly Walt Lando. Mainly on Twitter, you'll find me posting some memes and reacting to dumb stuff. My latest buffoonery that I witnessed, a headline making it sound like overworking it doesn't exist if you have 2 jobs. Basically saying that if you're burnt out in a job, the solution is to get a second job. So do with that what you will. Read some manga, people. If you have a job and you want some free time, why not go ahead and go read some Aliens Area.
Go read, man. Go read some Aliens Area. But yeah, we have a slew of shows you guys can check out throughout the week. Plenty of stuff here on the channel. If you haven't, like and subscribe. Check all the links below. Follow all those good people. Make sure to check out the Dual Shock and Sense podcast, which is on Saturdays.
Saturday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This Saturday, we'll see if we are gonna go live because there's a hurricane hitting Florida.
Yes.
And if there's no electricity, I don't think we'll be able to do it. Although, if we can, Or you'll just be on the lookout. Subscribe and turn on those notifications.
Boom. Be safe, people, and much love and peace.